Are you making these common detailing mistakes without even knowing it? Or maybe you're wondering which products actually work? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to another episode of Pan the Organizer. I get thousands of detailing questions every single week, and in part 1 of this Q&A episode, I'm tackling the most common ones, from washing and protecting your car to pro-level tips that'll take your detailing game to the next level. And trust me, some of these answers might completely change the way you care for your car. So stick around because you don't want to miss question number 10. It's a total game changer. Let's dive right in. By the way, guys, don't worry. Any products or tools or equipment that I refer to, I'll drop links in the description under the video for some good quality stuff for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So let's go to question number 1. What's the difference between a shampoo and a snow foam? Now, the answer might vary depending on which country you're in. Sometimes different cultures have different definitions, but at least here in USA and Canada, in North America, typically, a shampoo is for the bucket wash, right? For the contact wash with your either microfiber towel or your microfiber wash mitt, your wool mitt, whatever you use, whatever wash media you use to clean your car. And a snow foam is for use in a foam cannon or a foaming pump sprayer for the pre-wash stage. That means before you actually do the contact wash. So a snow foam typically will have agents and chemicals in it to help it foam better. And typically they're a different pH level, right? So they can be a high pH, they can be a low pH. To tackle different things, typically high pH for bugs, grime, oily substances, road film, low pH or acidic for more mineral deposits, water spots, line scale accumulation, all that kind of things. And so you're going to use that for the pre-wash, meaning you're going to blanket your vehicle with a snow foam. You're going to let it dwell a few minutes, and that's going to start encapsulating, lifting any loose dirt and debris, so you can rinse that off before your contact wash in an effort to minimize the amount of swirls and scratches when you're doing the contact wash, because the majority of the marring that we see on paint comes from two things typically. So the hand washing stage and the towel drying stage. So anytime there's contact or friction on the surface, that's when you increase your chances of marring the paint. So you want to use safe washing and drying methods. And definitely a pre-wash is a safe method to do so. That being said, so the majority of the time, the pre-wash snow foams are only meant for foam cannon and not for the bucket, right? Of course, read the instructions of the product you're using, because some of them can be different or have more versatility. And then shampoos also, you can use them in the bucket, but oftentimes you can use them in the foam cannon. Typically when you're using a shampoo, for example, like the Clean by Pan, the Organizer shampoo, a fantastic one. This, when you're diluting this in solution, it's pH neutral, right? So just around pH 7 or in that region. So safe on waxes, sealants, ceramic coatings, and very surface on every exterior surface. This is designed for your regular use. You can use this as often as you want to clean your car. I typically wash my car twice weekly. Now, this can be used in a foam cannon, so you can foam it on, but this will use more for light cleaning duties at the pre-wash stage, right? To remove that loose dirt and debris and adding lubrication on the surface. So that's the purpose of this one if you're using it in a foam cannon. So it's going to add, again, more lubrication on the surface, allowing you to flush that initial dirt and debris before you do the contact wash with that shampoo in the bucket. But note that there are dedicated pre-wash snow foams that do a more cleaning potential. I'm developing some as well in the own Clean by Pan, the Organizer lineup. So early spring, you should see them. But there are many brands out there with different varying levels of pH depending on what type of dirt you're trying to tackle. So again, snow foam for the pre-wash stage before the contact wash, and a shampoo in the bucket for the contact wash stage. Question number 2, should I polish the paint before applying a ceramic coating? Well, technically, the answer is no, you don't have to polish before applying a ceramic coating. But then, Pan, why are we always seeing all these YouTube videos, including yours, and you're doing machine polishing steps before you apply a ceramic coating? Well, the answer is simple. First of all, if it's a paying customer, typically, they want that paint to be as good as it can be. So remove any swirls, scratches, and oxidation to make it glossy, have more depth, more clarity, that amazing appearance, right? So before you seal that in for many years with a ceramic coating, you want to get the paint as nice looking as possible. But why do we mainly polish, especially if you get a new vehicle from the dealership? Oftentimes they apply a cheap wax or sealant before they deliver it to you, before delivery I mean, or if you purchased a vehicle from a a third party, a used vehicle, whatever it may be, you're never sure what's on the paint already. Ceramic coatings, the ones in glass bottles, they need to bond directly to a virgin clear coat free of any previous protection. So to ensure that, the only way to remove 100% of existing protection is by machine polishing. So because we want to make sure that the surface is fully washed, decontaminated, and prepped before we apply the coating, that's why you often see machine polishing. So even if your paint doesn't necessarily need it, unless you know there's absolutely zero protection on it, right? When you're done washing the car and you dried it, if you run your fingers on the surface and it feels like squeaky, squeaky, right? That squeaky sound, that means there's probably no protection. Another visual indicator that there's no protection is if you're spraying water on the vehicle, there's zero water beading and the water is just pooling in a slow sheeting sheet of water. Well, that's likely a possibility that there's no protection on your paint. If you see tons of water beading and the water evacuates quickly, there's some form of protection on there and you want to remove that. And the only way to ensure 100% removal of existing paint protection is by machine polishing. Even if you're using stripping soaps can usually only start breaking down older waxes and sealants, but they don't guarantee 100% removal. So for insurance, make sure you use a machine polishing step. You don't have to always use a compound followed by a polish. If the paint only has light defects, typically a polish alone will help. And you can use something very versatile, by the way, in the Clean by Pan, the organizer lineup, the spray polish. Very versatile. You can use this as a compound if you pair it with a cutting pad, and you can use it as a polish if you pair it with a polishing pad. So there's less of a need for 1,000 different compounds and polishes. One product, you pair it with either a cutting or a polishing pad, or do first step cutting with this, and then second step with polishing and a polishing pad, and this just does a fantastic job. 2 sprays on the pad to prime it, and then for every subsequent pass, 1 or 2 sprays. You're using much less product than you would with a liquid style compounding polish, so it just works super well. I have a bunch of videos on my channel about it. So yeah, that's why I always would recommend that you do at least a light machine polishing step before you apply a coating. And after you're done polishing, don't ever forget, every coating company typically has a panel prep spray. It's isopropyl alcohol based, or some form of alcohol for evaporation. And in the case of the Clean by Pan, the Organizer Panel Prep Spray, we also added some surfactants in there to help bring up the oils on the surface as well and eliminate them, right? So that's very important. There's a bunch of components in there. I have videos, by the way, for each of these products on the channel. But yeah, that's to help remove polishing oils and residue. And then the paint is actually squeaky, squeaky clean. And then you apply the coating, and that gives it the better chance of bonding and having greater durability over time. Question number 3, can I apply a wax on top of my ceramic coating? Again, this answer, technically the answer is yes. Would I recommend that you do that? No. Here's why. So Carnauba waxes, so either in paste form or in liquid form, are a great form of protection, but typically those only last 1 to 3 months because they're organic based. They're not super resistant to chemicals, and they're not made for extreme durability. What they do well though is provide some slickness and have kind of a warm feel, right? There's colder or more candy-like appearances with ceramic coatings and sealants, and Carnauba waxes, the organic ones, typically give off a more warm kind of glow. So a lot of people like that, especially if you bring your car to a car show or you leave it in a museum, something like that, or just for enjoying applying a wax. Now, if you're applying a wax on top of an existing ceramic coating, first of all, the coating is eventually going to reject the wax, so you might be wasting some product because the durability of that wax won't be that long, right? Keep in mind, coatings are made to reject things. Also, what might happen, most likely will happen, is that the wax will be masking the superior hydrophobic properties of the coating that's underneath. Don't forget, you get the properties of whatever the outmost layer is. So if you're applying a wax on top of an existing coating, the properties that you're getting, the water sheeting, the water beading, is that of the wax at this point. So typically, ceramic coatings have a higher water contact angle. They'll shed the water quicker. They have the self-cleaning properties, not meaning that the car cleans itself, right? It just means that the car is much easier to clean during regular maintenance washes, and you get that quick sheeting, you get beautiful tight round water beads, all that kind of stuff. So if you're applying a wax on top, well, you're likely going to diminish those properties, or at least mask those properties until the wax goes away. So technically, can you apply a wax on top of a coating? Yes, you're not going to damage the coating, but should you? I would not. I prefer to stick to ceramic spray sealants or ceramic toppers, ceramic-based drying aids, compatible technology that will play well with your existing coating without masking its properties. So yeah. Question number 4. So what can I use to clean the interior? other than an interior cleaner and an interior protectant. So say for example, you did the big job, right? So you did the full interior cleaner, all the surfaces are clean, and then you applied a long-term form of protection or dressing on the interior, and all you want to do is light maintenance. So you can use an interior quick detailer, and I'm working on a great one on the Clean by Pan, the organizer lineup, or you can use something perhaps that you already have, right? Like a rinseless wash. So there are many different uses for rinseless washes. A lot of people only think that it's good for the outside, but for example, the Clean by Pan, the organizer rinseless wash, this one you can use both for interior and exterior cleaning. Still that traditional 1 to 256 dilution, meaning half an ounce of this or 15 milliliters for every gallon of water or for every 3.79 liters of water. So very simple. You're going to do your dilution in a clean bucket. You're going to use some microfiber towels, dunk those towels in the bucket, wring them off. You only want them slightly damp, and wipe your interior surfaces. So the advantage of this doesn't give you any protection, right? That's not meant for your long form UV protection and all that kind of stuff on your surfaces. This is more for cleaning the surfaces. So this is surfactant based and also polymer. So it's a hybrid style rinseless wash, great for cleaning duties. It's going to leave your surfaces with that OEM appearance. It's going to degrease the surfaces, clean them as well. And it's just a great safe way to do this. So yeah, a rinseless wash is something I would recommend that a lot of you guys already have in your arsenal. So you can use this on the interior as well. And you can even use it as a glass cleaner. If you put it in a spray bottle, it just works super well to clean glass too. And yeah, it works amazingly well. So question number 5, why does my microfiber drying towel absorb less water over time? Now, if you're using a drying aid, and you should, right? So if you're drying your vehicle with a microfiber drying towel, you should add a quick detail spray or a drying aid as a lubricant on the surface. So it's going to act as a buffer between the paint and the drying towel, hence reducing the marring chances of the paint when you're towel drying your vehicle. The issue with drying aids and quick detail sprays, they work amazing, right? They're going to give some pop, some gloss. Some of them offer a little bit of protection. So basically you're topping that existing protection. And yeah, they're going to leave something on that surface that we all love to feel, the slickness, and we all love to see with the gloss. However, over time, even if you wash your towels regularly, they can build up or coat the fibers of the drying towel, making them less absorbent over time. So if you're not using the proper detergents or don't wash them regularly, that's when those products are going to build up and kind of cure on the fibers and make them less absorbent. So what I do and what I always recommend, when you're done using your microfiber drying towel, clean it immediately after you're done your detailing session. Do not waste any time. You can temporarily, if you're there for many hours, put it in a bucket with a rinseless wash solution like the Clean by Pan rinseless wash. That's going to help start breaking down and emulsifying that quick detailer or drying aid that's in the fibers until you have time to wash it. And in your washing machine, I would highly recommend that you use a dedicated microfiber detergent. One of my favorite ones currently is the Detail Co. The Renaissance. That's their microfiber wash. It just works amazingly well. And yeah, you guys would really like that. So that's my recommendation. If you want to preserve your microfiber drying towels over time, make sure you wash them after every use. When you pair them up with a quick detail spray, a drying aid, a ceramic detail, or whatever you guys have that you're using, don't forget that those things will coat the fibers if you don't clean the towels. Question number 6. Are the durability claims of ceramic coatings actually true? So a lot of people see that, right? A 3-year coating, a 5-year coating, 8-year coating, 9-year coating, some are even lifetime coatings. So how do manufacturers come up with that, right? Well, the chemists that formulate these products in a lab environment, they have different tools and machines to simulate real world kind of use as best they can, right? Because they're not actually going to wait 8 years to see if an 8-year coating will last 8 years. So they have different levels of simulation. It can be chemical resistance tests, it can be abrasion tests, it can be high heat, very cold machines, all that kind of stuff that try to simulate what we get outside and come up with a prediction based on regular cleaning of a vehicle for an average person, how long typically that could last. Now, durability claims should never be taken as hard claims. What do I mean by that? For example, a 3-year ceramic coating, does it mean it will last 3 years for everyone? No. Let me give you an example as to why. Let's take 2 identical vehicles, right? Same make, same model. One vehicle is in California, it's in gorgeous weather, it's garage kept, and it's only driven on the weekends, so very low yearly mileage, and it's regularly washed by its owner. Let's take the same vehicle make and model, same year, same everything, but that vehicle is here in Montreal, Canada, where we have super harsh winters. The vehicle stays outside in the elements 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is a daily driver, so higher yearly mileage. Well, the ceramic coating, even if we were to apply the same coating on the same vehicles on the same starting day, because they are in different environments and conditions, and they don't necessarily have the same maintenance, well, the coating is going to last much longer on vehicle A, that's in California, compared to vehicle B, that's in Montreal, Canada. So durability depends on many factors. The prep of the product, of the vehicle itself or the surface, the application, did you follow the instructions, were you in the correct conditions when you were applying, the maintenance of the vehicle, do you do at least some regular washing, if you have a coating that requires a maintenance topper, were you applying that topper every 2 to 3 months, do you follow the instructions of the manufacturer, that plays a big role, the yearly mileage, the higher the mileage, the more abrasion you're getting from stuff on the road, so of course abrasion leads to quicker wear of the coating itself, also what environment or conditions or weather you live in, right? Colder, harsher environments with crazy winters like we have here. We use road salts on the roads, so of course that can attack the coating over time. So although coatings are very highly resistant to chemicals, well, everything like that will start breaking that down. If you use an automatic car wash, typically they use very caustic, very high pH, very strong chemicals that over time can, well, degrade even the best ceramic coatings out there, especially those that use brushes, right? If you're using roller brushes at the car wash where you're going, that mechanical abrasion will wear a coating over time. So now you understand why you should take durability claims more as a form of comparison for coatings in the same lineup. For example, in the Clean by Pandy Organizer lineup, we have a 3-year and an 8-year coating. So technically the 8-year coating should last much longer than the 3-year coating. Does that mean that an 8-year will actually last 8 years? If your vehicle is garage kept in beautiful weather and you maintain it, for example, that California example, most probably yes. However, if it lives here in Montreal, Canada, most probably no. As good as you try to take care of it, there's other factors that play into it. But technically that 8-year coating will last longer, however, compared to the 3-year coating. So the 3-year coating might last 2 years depending on the conditions you're in, or a full 3 years if you're in optimal situations and everything went well. So I'd use that more as a comparison, right, within the same product line as far as durability is concerned, if you're looking at that, but I wouldn't consider the durability claims as hard claims for coatings. Hopefully manufacturers out there get more and more transparent about that. I've been speaking about this for years on my channel, regardless of which coating brand you have. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to reach the full potential. There was a 9-year claim coating from another brand that I had applied on my girlfriend's vehicle, and after 2.5 years, it started failing on the lower parts of the doors, despite regular, decent maintenance, but it was a daily driven vehicle. It's kept outside in the elements all day when she's working, very high mileage, at least higher mileage than my vehicle, for example, so it was in harsher conditions. So after 2.5 years, it started failing in the lower parts of the doors, despite my best attempts to try and revive it, but it is what it is. I'm to expect that in the conditions where I'm at, and a simple prep, machine polish, I move on to an X coating and I try something else at this point. But yeah, that's what it is. So durability claims, I think more as a comparison tool between coatings of the same brand than a hard line of durability claim because of all those factors we spoke about. Question number 7, how do I care for my ceramic coating? The easiest way to answer to that is follow the manufacturer's directions for the coating that you purchased. So there are many coatings out there that still require regular maintenance with a ceramic spray topper every 2 to 3 months. So again, follow the instructions of the coating brand that you're buying. They usually provide what kind of maintenance they recommend. And there's newer generation styles of coatings like the Clean by Pandy Organizer 3-year and 8-year coatings that do not require toppers. So all you need to do for those is regular maintenance. What does regular maintenance mean? Well, regular maintenance involves at least regular washing of your vehicle. That will help to prevent water spot buildup, because typically coatings are more prone to water spotting issues because of those tight round water beads. When the water evaporates, it can leave behind some minerals. So you want to do regular washing to help prevent that. You're going to do iron removal for brake dust, rail dust, industrial fallout every 1 to 3 months, depending on your level of brake contamination. That's totally fine, by the way, to use on ceramic coatings. If you have water spots, you can use an acidic soap or a water spot remover, whatever you need to help unclog the coating with all that mineral buildup, limescale buildup over time, especially if you have hard water issues where you live, or acid rain, or all those kinds of things, right? So you can use chemicals to decontaminate. You can use synthetic perforated decontamination towels. So the newer generation towels, like the Clean by Pan, the Organizer synthetic perforated decontamination towel, because it contains no abrasives in it, so super gentle. So this is the Clean by Pan, the Organizer clay towel. You can go check it out. I have a full video showing you how to use this. So this is a synthetic perforated decon towel. So what it means is the synthetic material that's on there will not abrade the surface, because it doesn't contain any of those abrasive particles, right? It's non-abrasive. It's an ultra fine grade. And if you pair it with proper lubrication, so either a soapy solution in your wash bucket as a clay lubricant, you can put it in a spray as well. We have the dilution instructions on the label, or a rinseless wash that you pre-spray on the panel. Of course, you always clay a clean vehicle, so wash your car first and then you clay, but you shouldn't do any marring on the surface as long as you use it appropriately well. So you can clay existing ceramic coatings, but not with traditional clay bars or clay towels or mitts that are more aggressive or that have abrasives inside them. So make sure that you're using an ultra-fine synthetic perforated decontamination towel to be able to do that. And so that's kind of the regular maintenance. Now, the Clean by Pan, the Organizer coatings do not require a ceramic or graphene topper to maintain the performance, but you can still use that if you want to. I myself included, who doesn't want to boost that gloss, that slickness every now and then on the vehicle, because we all enjoy that, right? So you can absolutely still use a ceramic spray sealant. For example, the Clean by Pan, the Organizer ceramic spray sealant. As you noticed, all the naming schemes of my product are very, very easy. So they say what they are, right? Ceramic spray sealant, it's a ceramic spray sealant. This can give you many months of protection, very easy to apply. You can apply this on a dry surface for maximum durability, or you can apply it on a wet surface if you use it as a spray on rinse off sealant, or as a drying aid if you want with your microfiber drying towel. Again, all the instructions are on the label, but this is a very good one. Or you can use whatever ceramic spray sealant comes in the same lineup as the coating you use. If you want to use the same products as the coating brand that you have, again, just follow the instructions of the coating manufacturer that you applied on your vehicle. That way you make sure you keep your coating in tip-top condition. But regular maintenance is key to longevity of any ceramic coating. Question number 8. Can I polish PPF? So what is PPF? First of all, is paint protection film, sometimes also called clear bra. It's that plastic transparent film that you can apply either on the front clip, on the hood, on the bumper, or on the entire vehicle. There's even some PPF for glass like your windshield now. So they help prevent scratches and stone chips from going to your paint, right? So they are great forms of paint protection. I still recommend that you apply a coating on top, because coatings provide different types of things. Coatings do not protect against stone chips or scratches. That's what PPF does, right? But what coatings do well is provide resistance to chemicals, slickness, gloss, hydrophobic properties, and self-cleaning properties, making the vehicle much easier to clean during maintenance washes. So for your PPF, if you do have PPF, you can usually treat it pretty much like a clear coat. Just be careful on edges. If you didn't have a good installer, sometimes they don't roll the edges correctly or tuck them into the seams. So you might have exposed edges. Dirt can get underneath there. So you want to be more careful on the edges. But yes, you can absolutely polish PPF as well. If you have some light marring or scratches, you can take a polishing pad, a light polish. For example, the Clean by Pan, the Organizer spray polish. With the blue foam pad by Clean by Pan, the Organizer, for example, which is a great one-step pad, and you can polish the surface. And then once you're done, you're going to use a panel prep spray to remove any polishing oils or residue and apply whatever form of paint protection that you want on there. Of course, make sure you apply protection that's compatible with your PPF. The Clean by Pan, the Organizer ceramic coatings are absolutely compatible with PPF. You can apply that. You can even apply them on matte surfaces, matte vinyl wraps, matte PPF, or any other matte surface on your vehicle. So no problem there. Question number 9. So I'm not getting crazy foam from my foam cannon, but I'm watching all these videos on YouTube and a bunch of you guys have amazing foam. Why is that? So I had a video which is titled How to Get More Foam from Your Foam Cannon, which I highly recommend that you guys go watch because I give all the tips and I give you different examples. But there are usually 5 big factors that play a huge role in how much foam output you're getting from your foam cannon, meaning the foam thickness, the foam richness, the quantity of foam that you're getting out there, right? So number 1 is the type of pressure washer. So the higher GPM number, so the gallons per minute, that's the water output or the water flow, well, the more foam you're going to be getting, the more suds you're going to be getting in your bucket as well. So yeah, the higher GPM machines, for example, my Krenzler 1122 TSD, German-made machine, it's 2.1 gallons per minute. So anything usually upwards of 1.7 GPM is going to give you much better foam output out of your foam cannon compared to lower powered machines, which have 1.2 to 1.5 GPM typically, right? The pressure washers that everybody uses to wash their cars. So you have to keep that in mind. So if you're looking for a potential upgrade, that's a very good one. Next, there's going to be the type of shampoo or snow foam that you're using. Not all of them foam the same way. So you will have some out there that will give you absolutely no foam in a foam cannon because they're only meant for the bucket. Some other ones like the Clean by Pandy Organizer shampoo can be used in a foam cannon, although this is not a dedicated snow foam for the pre-wash, right? This is meant for the bucket. It's a shampoo. That's what we call it, right? But you can use it in your foam cannon if you want to add a layer of foam for lubrication on the surface. But again, depending on many other factors we're going to talk about now, you can get varying amounts of foam. So in the case, my scenario with my high-powered pressure washer, absolutely no problem. Super thick suds and foam that are coming out. So if you use a dedicated snow foam, for example, that's made for the pre-wash, typically snow foams will give you more foam output. Next, there's the dilution ratio of your snow foam or your shampoo in the foam cannon. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions as a starting point. For example, the Clean by Pandy Organizer shampoo, we now recommend in a foam cannon a 1 to 10 dilution ratio, 1 part of product to 10 parts of water. For example, in a foam cannon, you would use 3 ounces or 90 milliliters of the product with 30 ounces or 900 milliliters of water in the foam cannon for a total solution of 33 ounces or 990 mils, just close to that 1 liter mark. So that will give you great results. Now, depending on your foam cannon setup, on your pressure washer setup, on your water quality setup, you might want to increase or decrease that dosage a bit to get the foam output that you want. So you can add a little more soap if you want more thickness, or you can reduce the quantity if you're getting too much snow foam, right? So always keep that in mind. Start with the manufacturer's recommendations and then adjust with higher or lower of the soap inside your foam cannon. Next, there's the foam cannon itself. Not all foam cannons foam the same. So, and it doesn't really matter for price. There are some $50, $60 foam cannons that work amazingly well. There are $150 foam cannons that don't necessarily produce the same level of foam. So there's a few videos that are popping up right now that we notice that based on the mesh filtering system, the pickup tube, a bunch of variables from each foam cannon, they don't dilute the product that's inside, even if you use the same dilution ratio when they're spitting it out. So the panel impact ratio that you're getting might vary because of the foam cannon itself. So shop for quality foam cannons that actually give good foam outputs. I have a bunch of comparison videos on my channel if you want to check those out. And another factor is the water quality. So if you use regular tap water that might be hard water, for example, my tap water is considered hard, right? It's at 176, 178, let's say 180 ppm, which is parts per million of mineral content. So that's the hard water analysis. So typically hard water, anything depending on which website you're looking at, but anything over 125 to 140 ppm is considered hard water. So you're going to combat those minerals and you're going to have a little less foam output. If you're using deionized water with 0 ppm, or if you have a water softener, so in my garage, I have a water deionizer, so I typically only activate it for the final rinse, so that will give me a spot-free rinse. But for the foam cannon, I don't use typically the DI system, so I have that 178 ppm, it's still hard water, but I have a good soap, I have a good foam cannon, and I have a good pressure washer, so I still get crazy foam. But if where you live, you don't have the opportunity to get a more expensive pressure washer, or you already have a foam cannon, you want to invest in another one, you already have a good shampoo, but you're still not getting great foam. If you have very hard water, some people have 400, 500, 1,000 ppm of minerals in their water. Well, you might want to invest in a deionizing system. And I have a video on that on my channel, a simple deionizer that you connect to your garden hose setup. It's going to filter that water, 0 ppm. You're definitely going to have a much higher output of foam in your foam cannon. So all those variables taken together, you can tweak and play around depending on where's the weak point or the struggling point of your setup and why you're not getting foam. So typically when I give help to people to try and figure out why they're not getting great foam, there's usually one of those or many of those factors that are culprits in the setup. So the next one, question number 10. So I'm using a glass cleaner to clean the interior of my windshield, but I'm still getting that haze or that dirt film and it didn't fully remove it. Why is that? So the majority of automotive glass cleaners, right? Automotive, why automotive? Because they're free of ammonia, so they're safe on the tinted windows or the tinted film that are on the inside of the glass, right? Always use automotive glass cleaners when you're cleaning car glass. But those glass cleaners, typically, we call them finishers in the industry because they're made to be the last step or that finishing touch on glass. That doesn't mean that they can fight off the big film that's on, especially the interior of the windshield, because don't forget your interior materials, whether it be leather, vinyl, plastics, rubber, all those, they have off-gassing of those materials, and that kind of fume or that greasy film, well, it builds up over time on the interior of your windshield. And if you don't remove that, regular glass cleaners, now there are some glass cleaners that are stronger than others, but in general, right, we're always making generalities, or we're talking generally speaking here, glass cleaners are not strong enough for that. So if you search for interior windshield cleaning panty organizer on YouTube, you're going to see my tutorial on how to get crystal clear interior windshield. And we start off basically by using some warm soapy water. I like to use dishwashing liquid, a bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid, for example, in a warm bucket, swirl that up. So that's going to be your soapy solution. You're going to take a microfiber towel, dunk it in there, wring it out. Then you're going to clean, or there are some tools with wedges that you can have that I used in that video that you're going to see. So you're going to degrease the interior portion of your windshield. You're going to mop that up. So remove any remaining residue. And then you finish with your glass cleaner. And that's how you're going to get crystal clear glass. So to remove that film, that haze that you're going to see, especially when you're driving in inclement weather with a bit of humidity outside, and you're going to see that film build up on the interior. Well, that's because of all the off-gassing from the materials. They create that residue, and the only way to remove that is to degrease it. So try that trick. Let me know. I think you're going to absolutely love that. Question number 11. So I used a water spot remover, and it didn't remove the water spots on my paint. Why is that? Again, let's go back to why water spots form to start with. So on your paintwork, all that water, regardless if you're outside and you have some hard water where you live, when you're washing your vehicle, for example, you have a very high ppm count. Anything again over 120 or 140 ppm is considered hard water. The majority of probably people where you live, you usually have hard water, including myself. Mine is almost 180 ppm, so that is definitely hard water. So you'd have to use a water filter like a deionizer if you don't want any water spots removed, but if you don't, to be left on your paint. But if you don't have a filter, or you do have hard water, what do you do over time? Or you're outside and you get some acid rain, things like that, or you park near a sprinkler system, sprinkled water, it evaporated and left some water stains. Well, the best way, we go in levels of aggression in detailing, right? Start with the less aggressive method first and then move up aggression levels if you didn't correct your issue. So the easiest way to prevent water spotting is to wash your car regularly, just with a pH neutral shampoo, like the Clean by Pan, the Organizer shampoo. If you do that regularly, at least once a week or once bi-weekly, you should be fine. The next step up, if that still doesn't clear it up, is to use an acidic soap. So acidic soaps are made to remove water spots and mineral deposits, but the lighter ones. Mix that up, wash your car. If you're done and the water spots are gone, good, you can stop there. If the water spots are still there, you move up again an aggression level to a dedicated water spot remover. Those are acidic, but they're even more potent and powerful. So you're going to wash your car first. You're going to clean it off. You can dry it, and then on the dry paint, on the affected areas, you would spray on a towel. I prefer to spray water spot removers on a towel, work those into the surface, flush and rinse. Once you're done with water, follow the instructions, right, of the product you're using. So flush it with water, and at that point, I would probably still recommend that you rewash the vehicle with a pH neutral shampoo to make sure you neutralize any residue. And again, at this point, if you're done, you're good. But now, if you use the water spot remover and you still have water spots, that means that the minerals that are there, they were left long enough, or probably in the baking sun, those are acidic in nature and they start etching through or eating through the clear coat, right? Or the paint protection that you have, so they leave stains behind. So although with the water spot remover or the acidic soap, you remove the minerals, it's the staining that's still there that you're seeing with your eyes. So if you used the acid shampoo or the mineral deposit remover spray and you still have water spots, well, the minerals, you actually removed them, but now you see the staining. So to remove that, you would go through machine polishing steps, compound and a polish, or just a light polish, depending on the severity of the situation. Do a few test spots, or you might have to move to water sanding if it's very extreme. And if that still doesn't remove it, well, you know it has etched through the clear coat, causing permanent stain and damage, and a panel respray might be necessary. So start with the less aggressive and then move on to the most aggressive method. That's it for part 1 of this Q&A, but we're not done yet. There are even more amazing questions coming in part 2, including, should you wax your car before applying a ceramic coating? The answer just might surprise you. And if you have a detailing question you want answered, drop it in the comment section. I might feature it in a future episode. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss part 2 and all my upcoming detailing content. In the meantime, if you want to keep leveling up your detailing skills, check out my playlist on Detailing 101, all the basics of car detailing. With over 1,000 videos on my channel, there's something for everyone. Thanks for being there, thanks for watching, and in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.